Okay, so we're back with an update on how this account is doing. We've had a really interesting time on the stock market. It hasn't been a whole lot of fun for a lot of us, but basically we are now facing tariffs, depending on which day of the week it is. Some days they're on, some days they're off, right? So it's been really just a rocky ride here, and so I expect some of these diagonal spreads that I've had going on here, some of these poor man's covered calls, just take more time to show profits. That's fine. They still will. It's just going to take longer. Originally, I think I had said, I expect these like if they're to take 3 months before starting to show positive. Now I would say it's probably going to take more like 6. That is sort of the risk with taking those on. But these are things that I'm going to run for 2 to 3 years, mostly 3 years. So again, I'm not really too concerned here. I am going to have to change up the way that I am trading. So the market has changed, which means I'm going to have to change the way that I'm trading. When that happens, when the market changes, I don't rush in right away to like pounce on what just happened. I think the big sell-off that we experienced started around March 31st. It's currently April 15th. So it's very normal if you're an options trader and you're selling longer dated contracts or buying longer dated contracts for it to take about a month of period of time to start taking the premiums that you're taking in and allocate those premiums to go a different direction on the stock market. Okay, so if we are entering a bear market, which we did hit that 20% decline in stocks, but now we're not in there anymore. So I feel like nobody really knows where we're at, right? Everyone has an opinion, but no one can say for certain. So what I want to say here is that I have to change the style of how I'm trading. I have to go in light there because we could easily get a bounce if there's news that all tariffs are off the table, for example, which we're living in crazy land, so why couldn't that happen? It could. And we could also get news that we're going to tariff everybody again. Like, who knows? So then we would have a different reaction in the portfolio. So for me, right now, it's all about going in light on any position that I'm in, okay? And managing from there. So I'm going to show you an overview of every trade that I have in my portfolio right now. Update on this account is that the starting value is now 250K. I'm really trying not to put any more money in than this. So we're going to try to take this 250K to $1 million. I don't know how long that'll take. Could be 5 years, could be 8 years, could be 3. We'll see. Okay, but that's what the goal is. So the goal is really to build the account value. The goal is not necessarily to generate income. We're going to do that. We're going to build the account by generating income, but there's a purpose to what we're doing here, and that's the purpose for this account, okay? So that's what we're doing. So if we go out and just review what we've got going on here, we have some calls on Walmart that I bought to sell calls against. Those are currently showing loss. It doesn't matter that they're showing loss because all these calls that I sell against them will eventually pay back for these calls that I bought. I also have 600 shares that I'm selling covered calls on. You'll notice that I am not selling covered calls on everything or calls on every lot of shares that I own right here. And that is because I'm waiting for pops in Walmart. I'm changing my strategy. So I'm only selling calls on a pop, and then I hope for a drop, and then I close those out, and I wait for a pop again. And so that's going to help me build this account faster with how volatile the market is now. We've just entered a period of time with this tariffs where we can expect a high amount of volatility. And I'm going to take advantage of that volatility whenever I can. Ionic. I've dug in a little deeper on this stock just because the volatility here is incredible. The premiums are incredible. This stock seems to be trading in range of anywhere between $19 a share, which would be its low, and $40, which is a pretty big swing. But that volatility there offers me a lot of income opportunity. You can see, though, over the value of how much in my account that I have on this $250,000 account, it's not much, right? I have 5,400 in shares, and then I've got 3,500 in a leap and another 1,200 on a leap. So not a whole lot. I wouldn't go in any heavier on this than with a new company that doesn't meet a lot of my metrics, because it doesn't. Okay, so it doesn't. Walmart does. So I'm in heavier there. You see that? There's a reason for that. Apple, really liking the way that this stock is trading currently. It is getting these little bounces. We used to have $2 to $3 to $4 or $5 swings on Apple per day. I think it was one or two, a lot of times $2, $3. Okay. Now we're having $10 and $15 swings on Apple. I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm very excited about that. Amazon is going to be a really similar sort of player in the portfolio going forward. So Apple, it definitely meets my stock metrics. Amazon definitely does too. Okay, as well. And so I think that Amazon is going to start having some of these larger swings as well. It hasn't really started so far, but we're having these larger swings probably like weekly. So there's a lot that we can do there. And then ASTS is like the last stock that I am trading other than Costco. Okay, so ASTS is another thing that doesn't necessarily meet the metrics. And again, I'm going in light here. The only thing that I actually have set up on ASTS are diagonal spreads. So the poor man's covered call. Really nice premiums on this stock for a low cost. The cost is of the stock. It usually goes between about $21, $22 a share up to like 30 is sort of the range that trades in. So it's a nice little income opportunity there. And then you could just see how much cash I have on hand. This is $105,000, and this is there to pay for those puts that I may be assigned on because I've sold some puts to sort of wheel into these stocks. Now, you're going to see me place other trades as well to wheel into stocks, and it's not going to be the cash secured put. How I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it a different way, and I'm actually going to wheel with the bear call spread. And people are going to go like, what? How are you going to do that? And what I can say to you is how I do that is a really specialized trade that I teach on my course. If you're interested in taking my course, definitely email me at erica@abundantlyerica.com. That's Erica with a C. We can talk, and we can see if the course is a good fit for you. And then the last position I have in here is Costco. Woo, that is down like 50%. That's not fun. But look at this. I have until 2026 for this to come good. I'm confident that it will. And if not, I'm going to make it into a diagonal spread. The only reason that I'm not doing that right now is actually because I'm using more of my collateral in my account to trade Amazon and Apple because I prefer those trades right now. So in case you're wondering, that's that. I'm going to do a record amount of bookkeeping in the next hour or two and then come back to, maybe it'll be tomorrow. I might be in a different outfit to finish this video up and show you every trade that I placed so you can go in the past and see every trade I made in the last like month or however long it was. I apologize for it taking longer than a month for me to get back to you on how this portfolio is going, but I had to skip over the pond to England for a few weeks and spend some time there with some of my my husband's family and checking in on their health and stuff. So anyway, you will get the full picture. I will do my little bookkeeping. I'll show you every trade that I did in just the click of a button for you guys. For me, it'll be several hours of work. Okay, I've been gone for hours working this out. You guys just have been gone a second. But yeah, I didn't track my trades as I went this month because I had been traveling a lot. And I was in Europe and I was just trying to enjoy my time there and be with family. But back to this video. Okay, so here's the thing. So I did all my recording on this. It was a headache. If I can give you any advice, it's like definitely track your trades as you're going along because it's confusing afterwards. But anyway, so here's what I'm doing. I'm trading Ionic. I'm trading Amazon actively. I'm trading Walmart. I'm trading ASTS and I'm trading Apple. Okay. So here I am tracking all of this. And if there's a better way to do this, let me know, but I haven't really come up with one. But what I've done is I've highlighted in blue completed trades. These are fully closed out and the total premium collected or profit is over here in blue as well. So if I'm just going to take you down from the first ticker, let's look at Ionic. Okay. And we've got a cash secured put that I sold for $213. And then I just kind of kept rolling this out for more and more premium. And in the end, we got $643 and the shares weren't put on us. The next thing that I did was a put credit spread. And the total that I made off of that was $760. I realized this is missing some of the information, but what I did was I gave you guys more information as they went along. So here's another one with a call credit spread where to buy these contracts to open this is multiple contracts, by the way, guys, on most of these. It was $271 to open these contracts. When I sold to buy to open the top legs of these, since they were call credit spreads, it was $271. The calls I sold against them were $586. And then I was able to close some things as I went along for more profits, and I made $296 on that total one. There was a put credit spread here where to buy the puts to open the trade, it was $61. To sell the puts, it was $364. And then I was able to sell some of the puts I no longer needed for a profit, so that was $439. It looks like I rolled out then the puts that I had open that were no longer a part of a spread because I dismantled my spread, and I was able to roll and sell that put for 107. That hasn't been fully resolved yet because we are on April 15th today, and this doesn't expire till 4/25. I could roll it again. I could be assigned. I don't know yet. We'll see. Because Ionic is definitely below $29 a share. I think today it was like 26 or something like that. I'd probably take assignment. That sounds like a good idea for me. And then I bought some Leaps contracts here. And what I'm telling you right here is that the contracts expire on 1/15/2027, and they are the 25 strike price on those. Unfortunately, I didn't put the price in for what those cost, so I will do that on the next round because that's really important. But then I sold calls against them and made them into diagonal spreads. So for here, I collected 192. On this one, I sold the 204. I bought to close it for 11. And so this is currently just open as a leg I can sell something against right now. And I collected 193 there. Here we've got the same things going on. I'm going to fill in these details, like I said, on what these leaps cost because that's super important. But so far, I've made 141 on selling calls against that. And then I just have some shares that were put on me through some of these put credit spreads. So I paid $33 a share for each of these. And so I was able to collect premium here of 190 and 149. And then I've got another thing here for 148. Moving on to Amazon. I've got a put credit spread that was finalized. And so, hey, I'll just highlight that right now and put in blue for a profit of $866. These are leaps. So I did put in the cost on these, started better bookkeeping for you guys. So it's $3,059 cost. And then you guys notice what I'm not doing is I'm not deducting, I'm not like taking my leaps cost of $359 and then subtracting what I am getting as call premium coming in against that. What I will do is I will subtract the entire cost of these leaps, okay? If they run out of steam and they like my $3,000 is flushed down the drain, when this contract closes out, I will take that as a minus on this line item. Not until then though, because it's just not closed out, okay? All right, but I have $314 in premium sold against those. When you're seeing the sell to open, that's the first contract that I'm open, plus 229. That's the premium I'm taking in. Buy to close. That means I'm rolling this out. So I bought to close that contract for a negative $35, and then I sold to open again for 225 strike for another 120. So I've got 314. You'll continue to see this like method of bookkeeping as we go along, and sometimes I miss dollar signs, so forgive me. But 674 collected on this call contract. Guys, do you see how this is working out though? Look at this. Look at this. We are 2 months in, not even into me doing this. And people are like, I don't know if you can make money on a Leaps contract like always. Okay, we're 2 months in. I've collected $674. Look at my expiration date. 2027. You want to bet against me? Because I'll win that bet. Guarantee it. All right, 575 made. This one was a mess. I tried to figure out my bookkeeping in reverse here. It's a mess. I don't know what that is. I know I'm still making money. I just don't know how much. I'll come back to you on that one. Sorry. Another leaps I bought, took in 120 on this, 475 on this. And then I got to put credit spread that I was, made this much money on the put credit spread because the market started to turn against us. And I'm like, I don't want these shares right now like this. So I dismantled the spread and then made it into, I sold part of the put, bought to close, sold to open, and rolled. So, and I collected another 268. So that trade is still out there. So you guys can see right now, there's like kind of a lot to what I do with all of these strategies at once. This becomes super easy once you learn this system. Again, if you want to learn this system, just reach out to me on Erica@abundantlyerica.com. That's Erica with a C, and ask for a meeting, and I'd be happy to set you up with a meeting and explain how this all works in greater detail and how it can work for you. Okay, and then Walmart. Okay, we bought more leaps. We're selling calls against leaps. Here we go. We got 419, 361, and 111. So like, here's the other thing about this. I wasn't able to trade as aggressively as I wanted to during this time. And I say wanted to. I guess when I started out, right, we were in February and we didn't know that all this tariff talk was going to happen and the market was going to freak out, right? So I have been very conservative in the amount of calls I'm selling against these leaps that I have and what strike prices I'm taking on and that sort of thing, because we don't really have a market direction. I figure we're set up for some chop. So this will be a more difficult trading environment than what it was in January when I set out to do this. I set out to do it in January. I figured I'd share this all with you in January. Moved money around. Okay. Got money in account. Started with 100K. Built it up to 250K of deposits now. Just so I would be able to trade more in this account. I really wanted to show you what you can do with 250K. All right, we're going to try to bring that, this account to $1 million. I don't know how long that'll take, but I do have some math that might help us. All right. And we're going to get to that later. Okay. So then, I got some shares through some of these put credit spreads assigned to me. So that's what this means. I did a put credit spread, it cost me $73 to set it up, but I took in $282. Then I was assigned some shares mid-spread. Boom, that can happen. But that allowed me to sell the other part of my spread for $248 in profit. So I made $457 there. But now I own these shares at 3 lots of shares at $98 a share, and 2 lots at $95 a share. FYI. Walmart is retraced to 95 right now, so I'm looking good, and 98 would be just around the corner. So not too upset about that at all, but I'm also on those shares that I got assigned to me. I am already selling calls on them, so I've taken in 175 and 89 and 109, and these guys right here, guys, are free and clear. I'm still waiting to sell calls on those because I'm being patient. All right, Apple. Same kind of thing we have going on here. CCS is a call credit spread. That's fully closed out for a profit of 301. It expired. Leaps bought. Okay. So we're making 910 on these leaps that we have. And that's an expensive leap, 7,331. So that better go up. That's the one I'm worried about. Okay. If I'm worried about any of them. But I'm also not worried because Apple is performing very well in this market, actually. Okay, and then we've got another one for 378. This is inexpensive leaps. Then we got a put credit spread fully realized out for 1,039. Nice. And then we've got a put, which we're just selling a put. Okay. And then I realized, you know what I want? I want more collateral in my account. This is getting tricky. So I made this into a put credit spread by buying an Apple put to make this into a put. So I had a cash secure put, and I decided later to make it into a put credit spread. Oh. Pretty awesome. So I paid $261 for that. And so now we have 908 here on this put, and I can keep rolling it because my, you'll see why later. We'll do that later. I was assigned on one of these put credit spreads. 100 shares at how much money is this, guys? Let's look. Or can we see? 240 a share. Oh God, that sucks. Because Apple's like, I don't know, 190 or something right now. Hey, That happens sometimes. But so far on the shares that I'm assigned, I've made 643. And then I have some other shares that I bought. Okay. I bought these for a really specific reason. I'm not going to tell you really why until I need them. All right. And then I'm selling calls against that as well for 102. Okay, and then we finally have ASTS, and same kind of situation here. We got the put credit spreads. I am using put credit spreads as a way to wheel into the wheel instead of just selling cash secured puts. This one, I've made 1324 on. This one, 1070 leaps that I bought that I'm selling calls against, 184. And then a put credit spread that I have still open right now until 5/9 for 223. Okay, so these numbers will continue to update. Now, I'm going to show you how I'm doing overall because I added up all these numbers. And what we have is on Ionic, we've made 4,130. On Amazon, we made 3,312. On Walmart, 2,711. On Apple, 4,281. And then on ASTS, 2,801. So we have taken in premium $13,095. This is a taxable amount. I'm going to get taxed on this, okay? Meanwhile, my account is down. My account is worth, you guys just saw, what was it worth? I can't remember. 206 or something like that, okay? So I'm creating income right now off of this account, and this is what's happening. So my account is down, but I am creating income off of my account. Now, I've been doing this 2 months, and I've been doing this fairly conservatively. If you remember, when I started the account even, I waited for a while. My first video is about I'm not doing anything right now. Do you remember that? Super fun. I was trying to be patient because I knew something was up in that market, didn't I? All right, so here we go. It's $13,095. Okay, I made that in 2 months. And I feel like these months have been really hard to trade in, exceptionally hard. And I've had to be extra cautious. So this is such a small amount that I'm capable of so much more, but not in a market like this. So I just want to put your eyes on something right now. Okay, if I made that in 2 months, that's $66,547 a month. What is that in a year? $78,570. Where will I be at the end of the year? I think I'm going to be in a good spot, okay? It's too soon to tell, but these leaps have taken a battering. The reason why I'm down in my account overall is because my leaps that I purchased have taken a battering. They're not worth what I spent on them. That's fine. My leaps that on Apple, that was worth $7,000 that I paid for it. I think I looked the other day, it's $3,000 or something like that. So it's going to take a while for me to catch up with that because right now I've only made back 9-10 of it. So it's going to take me a minute to catch up with it. If the market stays in the same range, if the market soars, this is going to be looking better sooner rather than later. So anyway, I think you kind of get where I am with this. It's building. It's building momentum. This momentum is something that I'm very excited about, even though the account is down. Sometimes when you do this, when you start trading options, the market hands you a humdinger of a market right away, and you've got to trade it. And if you thought it was going one direction, or you're trading in a direction that had historically been going in, turning it around to trade the other direction, it's not something that you can do in 2-week period of time. Again, I'm being very conservative. I'm moving in a different direction right now, and I'm going to share with you later as to what that is. Okay, on not this video, but upcoming videos once I actually do the trades. But you can't turn around in a day. We're not day traders. We're options traders. We're trading contracts that are 2-3 months out, weeks out, a year out. You see some of my trades, they're 3-year expiration dates on them. So that's there for a reason. And it just allows me more time to be right. And that's what I intend to do. I'm going to take you through one other thing, just coming up in a second here, which is going to be, I'm going to show you the trades coming into my brokerage account so you can verify all this is real. All right, we'll see you there in a second. Okay, so we're going to do this by ticker because I feel like it's easier for you guys if you want to verify that I wrote down everything. Here's Apple trades. So these are all of the Apple trades that I did since this account has opened. want to go through there, be my guest. Super exciting stuff. Let's look at Amazon next. Right here, search that guy up. And so we're just going down the opposite direction. Okay, lots going on here. Guys, I mean, this looks like a ton of trading, but honestly, it only takes me, I don't know, not much time a day to do this. And you can see I don't come in every day. So how do I not come in every day? What I do is I look at the Dow on my phone and the pre-market every morning. And if the Dow makes a big move, I come in and I make adjustments to the account. And a big move is something like 400 points or something like that, all right? And if it doesn't, I'm just coming in on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the morning to see if there's anything that I want to do. Has there been movement in just the stock in general? So why am I looking at the Dow? The Dow gives me like this information on if there's a huge sell-off or not. A huge sell-off is something at 400 or above, okay? 400 to 1,000. 1,000 drop-offs or surges are super rare, okay? But like 400 is a good move, and it happens like once every so often. It's happening all the time now because are in this environment of tariffs, but it used to be not that common, okay? Before this administration came in and started talking about tariffs. If this market's just moving like 60 to 160 points, I don't really monitor this a whole lot because I've got so much data on my time. I can just change my trades on those Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays when I normally do it. And that's kind of how I stay on top of this. It's not that tough. I also set stock alarms that if there is a strike price I think that the stock can breach, I'll set a stock alarm on my phone. It's a stock alarm app, and it'll alert me if there's something that I need to pay attention to. It sends me a message by text, which I love. Okay, what else have we got? We did Amazon ASTS. Did we do Walmart yet? I don't think that's the one we're missing. And I'm just going to show you Costco because why not? I'll show you that I bought that Costco Leaps. You guys all know it. But here's Walmart. So we've got that in there. You can see what went on with that, all the credits and debits and stuff. So I think that once we get to Costco, that's gone over everything in this account. There's no other trades beyond that, and I'm not holding any shares beyond that. I think I already showed you guys all my position. Oops, sorry, Costco, we got to press the word search. And then I got that. All right, so that's it. That is this account. If you guys got any questions, definitely reach out to me in the comments. If you want to learn how to trade options and you want to trade options in a similar sort of way, it takes a minimal amount of time. Again, email me, Erica at AbundantlyErica. I will be happy to send you over a calendar link and we can get talking.